All right, everybody. Hello, how are y'all doing? Today is April 21st, 2025. I hope everybody is well. And I have already gave your title for today. It is The Crow and the Omens. I talked about the crow actually, um, because one of the last readings I did, this card came out. And then, like several days or two, a week or two after, and I showed this in one of the readings just the other day, okay? And I have proof, okay? I took the picture on Tuesday. Today is Monday, April the 21st. I'm live, right? So I took this picture last Tuesday, which would be April the 15th. And as you can see, this large crow um, came to me. It first landed on a fence and then it flew away. And as it was flying, that still say Tuesday, 10:33 in the morning. As it was flying, I was taking pictures. It was letting me get closer and closer and closer. Now, the closer I got to this bird, and you still see that say Tuesday, 10:33, this sucker was large. Now, I guess maybe me, I don't know about anybody else, maybe I be seeing smaller crows or smaller like blackbirds, maybe ravens, but I have never in my life been this close to a large ass crow like this. And I showed these pictures the other day. Okay, Tuesday, it let me get another picture. And do you see how long this crow legs are? Like, this sucker was big. It was huge. I don't know how to tell the difference of a male or female or whatever the case, but it just came out of nowhere. Um, and came around me, came toward me. Do you see the length and the steps on this bird? I don't really think you quite see how big this bird is. Okay. And just a couple of days or a week before, we had a reading that this came out. Now, if you watch my live readings, then you would have seen, okay, um, I've been going back through my readings trying to pinpoint which one it was so I can timestamp it for you. Um, because animals do come toward me, animals does come to me. I guess as omens, epiphanies, this is not the first time. Um, I did show y'all not too long ago of when a dove came to my front door. And I did look back. That was the year of 2018. I believe in the reading I kept saying I thought it was 2013, 15, or something like that. But actually, it was the year of 2018. And that bird had that thing that white dove had came to my door. Um, so yeah. Um, Now in the reading which I was trying to find, and this is why I asked some of my moderators, or at least one of my moderators, to keep like a journal. Hey, Justice Clark, how are you? At least one of my moderators to keep a journal for me. It can be a stack of paper, okay, notebook paper stapled together. Um, that when I do say these things, like the earthquakes, the tsunamis, the bad weather, hey Reese, babe, and things like that, that I be saying, that we can kind of keep a pinpoint of, you know, today's date, 4/21/2025, she spoke about the crow. Because now I'm looking back in the readings and trying to find which one it was. Also, I hate to bring this up, but if y'all remember who is an avid watcher of my channel and or subscriber or moderator, I spoke about the Pope being sick and really not being able to survive his sickness months and months ago. Now, I believe this was after they opened up that door that was below the Catholic, the Vatican, the door to the other realm. I just don't really want to say it out loud, but you know that event, right? That omen that happened. And then not too long ago after that, that particular person of high anarchy got sick, okay, and was sick for a couple of months. So I believe this had to be between January and February because it's now April, right? So I believe it was around my birthday, maybe, or it had to be in January, February. That not too long after they opened up that door, he got sick. And then it seemed like a month or two later, like last month or the month before that, he had gotten better. And I said it out loud in the reading. I was like, well, that's good because that's not what I was given as information as an intuitive, okay? Just by reading these cards, which are paper. I was just reading what the card said, allegedly, you know. And I was in good graces. I was like, oh, good. He got better. But I know how my readings are. I know the information that I get. Now, if anybody can find those readings, you'll hear specifically what I said when I said it months ago. And it was during the time when the Hierophant card kept coming out back to back to back to back to back. It kept coming out like 3 or 4 days straight. The Hierophant in the first position, Hierophant in the first position. So I had no choice but to talk about it. And this had to be sometime in January or February. It was after Christmas because I believe they opened up that door for Christmas or for the holidays around that timing. Okay. And then all of a sudden he got sick. Yeah. I know the cause of the passing that they say it was allegedly. I don't know. But this is what they say in the media. Um, but I just wanted to point that out because this crow came to me exactly 6, 7 days ago, which is an event, a happening, a omen, a magical power. Remembering what I said, remembering the reading. I wish one of my moderators would please help me out. It could be a little old book that you have around the house that when I do say something, if you could just put the date, because I be channeling and I don't a lot of times remember all the time what I say. Okay, because when I get off of here, I'm me. I'm my name. Okay, I'm my surname. I'm not Vesta, but I am Vesta. But this is a um this is like a divine guidance. This is like information that just come to me. Okay, when I start here, I don't know if y'all. I don't know if y'all really truly understand how hard it is a lot of times to carry this type of gift, or if you want to call it a gift, because I know and I see things before they happen. And it's hard to bear. It's very hard to carry, especially when the stuff plays out or it does come true. A lot of times, this is very scary. And this is not the first time. It has been like this for the 6, 7 years I have been on YouTube. Even when I do personal readings, things like that. I don't really think a lot of y'all truly understand what it is as a bearing to carry this because I just want to be human. I don't I don't want to know these things. I don't need anybody knocking on my door. I don't want to be looking over my shoulder. I am of sound mind. I am not harmful to myself. It'll be different. I'm just a small channel on YouTube. I don't have hundreds and thousands of subscribers. But the people who have all these subscribers, and I'll be watching them also, none of their stuff comes true. But little old me, where I don't get a lot of views, says something and it happens days, weeks, months after. That's why sometimes I don't even care that my channel has a lot of subscribers because I don't want to bring a lot of attention. I can't control it. It sucks with the love life because I intuitively know it's not going to work. I can read people. So it's like I'm falsely or fakely giving them time and energy just to be able to act like I'm human or to go with the flow of things. Then a lot of times, if I do tell somebody I date what happens, then they'll be scared to be their true self because they would have to really actually take off their mask because that means that they can't manipulate me. They can't control me. They can't cheat on me because I would know. But anyway, I pulled these cards. Talking about the crow, I pulled the sun. The sun is actually Leo, but the sun right now is actually the energy of Aries. And I've been talking about this, and the Emperor has been showing up for the past couple of days. Like I also told you, it will continue to show up in other people's readings because that is actually where the sun is. Okay? No longer the tropical western. of what they say you are. You need to go by the placements and where the actual sun, moon, and constellation is and rising at that time to get to give you more accurate messages. And that's what I do. This is how I get the real information because I don't follow tropical and western anymore. I'm not part of that phase or conditioning any longer. Okay? So, I've been talking about the energy of a what you call it? A higher anarchy. I've been talking about like bosses, supervisors, people of authority. I've been saying this the past couple of days, right? Um, this is a great time to apply for positions because the sun is in a higher rank type of energy. You may or you may not, depending on how much of the energy and the work that you have been doing. I can't make or you can't make anybody hire you, but at least try. Okay, at least put the energy out there because they also may come back to your application or resume when Jupiter also moves into Gemini, which will be the middle of May. Okay. I always also I've been talking about the movement of Rahu and Ketu, which is going to be a total different energy for all of us because we have not actually been alive the last time Rahu and Ketu um, was in Aquarius and Leo. That's how big of a deal that was. Okay. Unless you're 100 and something years old, then yeah, you was alive during that last transit. Okay. So, um, people are going to want to be bossy. They're going to want to show their attitude. They're going to want to show their authoritative in conversation and instructions, pointing the finger at you, strutting around with their chest held high and out and head held high and things like that because everybody is feeling that energy of the sun being in Aries, okay? Um, I pulled this out because of your higher anarchy, um, for the blessings of that person. Not saying that I really resonate, but I went to Catholic school. Can you believe that? I went to Catholic school when I was younger. Um, but you know me as Vesta. I had a lot of questions, so I kept getting in trouble. You know, instead of following the dogmas and the principles, I had questions like this, and this don't go with this. So why is that? So that didn't work out for too long. Um, and so then I moved to Christianity and then I moved to baptism. So, and now I'm just spiritual. Um, I pulled this out because it was Merry Easter yesterday. Y'all know I like mixing up the saying. So instead of Happy Easter, it was Merry Easter. So I pulled this card because we are in the spring equinox, which is about new beginnings, desire, intimate actions, and procreation, the making of a child or children, fertility, time for multiply, and a sudden increase. And then there's also the sun. Yes, it is two suns here. So I had the epiphany really to just do cards on the crow, but um, I really wasn't trying to make this too deep and emotional. Mars is in my seventh house, so I'm not very emotional right now. It's just a lot um, being a reader, especially when this stuff turn out to play out. Okay, it's like it's that's this above my pay grade. I'm not surprised because I believe in what I'm reading, um, my third eye, intuitive sense, but I gotta find somebody that I can talk to that's above my pay grade that can give me some answers. And it's not a pastor or a priest. I need to find a Buddha priest. I need to find a somebody, okay? Cuz I have nobody to talk to about this journey. And so a lot of times it get very overwhelming, okay? And very scary because the crow can mean death. So when the crow approached me, I was like, "Oh, is that me?" Or because of what I do, is it an omen on something that I said about something else? Okay, so that's the scary part too. Crows in different religious denominations can mean death and afterlife, and in some religious, it means great happenings or great new events. So I ain't know how to read it with that big ass bird that just this early in the morning, and ain't nothing else out there but him and me. I think I even called one of my moderators and told her that I was scared out of my wits. Not scared, but it was just like, what does this mean? And she more or less, she was like, well, you the reader, you tell me. And I'm like, girl, I was not expecting this because, you know, I was inside a coffee shop at the time. But due to timing, when I came out of the coffee shop, that's when it came. So if I was delayed in the coffee shop and not left when I left, would have missed it, or would it have waited so that I can see it? That's the question. That's what I be talking about, you know. And that's, I can't get over how big that sucker was. Whatever. Um, we got the Seven of Wands in reverse, and we have been getting weird cards. Okay, we have been getting weird cards that keep coming out in reverse. The only thing that is retrograde is Saturn, K2, and Rahu. Ain't nothing else retrograde. So why all these cards keep coming out in reverse? Somebody can't make up their mind. Somebody don't know what to do. Like, what is it? The Lovers. Speaking of Jupiter going to third house of Gemini, look at that. Even the Ace of Swords coming out in reverse, which is a no. Are some of you protecting yourself from somebody and or a certain energy, a place where you are, a place, an environment, um, also can be your feelings and emotions. Or some of you overprotecting yourself also, because I have all these other cards. Oh my gosh, Justice. You said seeing a crow is considered a good omen. Yeah, in some religions it is. And good fortune. And a message from the higher power. Yes, Justice, you are very much correct. Thank you so much for chiming in. Um, you think I would have seen the crow? Yeah. Um, oh no. Justice, me and you are definitely on the same page. Me and you, Miss Linda, is on the same page. But like I say, everybody is different. They may come across this video, so they may see the crow a different way. Um, I know the crow is part of Scorpio Ace house for me, which is the death and rebirth process. Something has to end for prosperity and blessings to come um, through. But it's also a omen, okay? And like you said, omens are good. But let's be realistic. There are bad omens also. I don't necessarily lean toward the bad omens. Um, Number one, it was just shocking. It was just shocking to me to see that, and I wasn't even expecting it. Mm, you know. So, but anyway, um, and we've been trying to figure out what the good omen would be. And I do feel that it's the movement of Jupiter. Jupiter is about growth and expansion. It is about learning and teaching. It is also can be marriage or engagement for some. Um, the Jupiter energy also is about a higher position, okay, coming into authority. Also, like I said, somebody obtaining a wife, and it is also a sense of mastering, okay. So I do see Jupiter as that omen that is going to be the next huge change besides K2 and Rahu. Um, so, ooh. But we do have the lovers here in reverse. Somebody here also is saying no to spirituality. We had the third eye yesterday to come out, right? Somebody is saying no and or was being very defensive to their spirituality. Okay. You have them. Where do you stay, Justice Clark? What state? What country? See there, the second sword, the second ace of swords is in reverse. Something here is a no. Now it can be again due to timing, that's why it's a no right now, because somebody needs to be enlightened. Somebody here needs to understand the purpose, a realization, to have they're doing more reason over instinct for some type of new beginning. Okay. Now the crow also can be here for you or somebody else where that it's time for something new to happen. But this person is not allowing it to be their justice. Okay. For them to receive their justice doesn't mean that it's about getting somebody back at what they did to you. That's not really justice. Okay, especially when it comes to spirituality and karma, especially also when you're dealing about love, relationship, and or lovers. um, this is also somebody who is or was or maybe telling somebody no due to their fertility. So it could have been that somebody was impregnated and somebody did not or don't want to keep a child here, and somebody was, very defensive about it, keeping their guards up. hmm Now, some of you, or you may know somebody, may also become pregnant. You may not be pregnant right now, but the Lover's card is the card, only card so far that's in the upright. And like I said, can be when the sun does reach Leo fifth house. But for Vedic Sidereal, for me, that won't be until the middle of August up until the middle of September. Okay. Now, if you're tropical western, then I think that would be the end of July into the first part of August. Okay. Yes, carrying information and guidance from the unseen world. Oh, you live in Arizona. Oh, wow. So you surely do see a lot of crows out there. Well, I am in Georgia, so we don't really see a lot of crows like that unless it's some type of dead carcasses. Um, Especially not in the heart of downtown Atlanta. More maybe in the countryside, on the farmlands, hillsides, up in the mountains, something like that. But in the middle of the city, unless it's like a dead carcasses or they're trying to eat food or something like dead meat off a bone or something like that, they may steady fly around. But just landing and doing all what that bird was doing, I was trying to get my phone out and do video and and everything because I thought it was gonna fly off real quick. And I was remembering, okay, that we had just had this card in a reading a couple of days or the week prior. So as an omen, I was trying to hurry up and get a picture of it, but that bird did not want to go anywhere. It was waiting for me to take pictures. Like I said, Queen of Cups is here. Somebody wants to be a mother. Somebody wants a new beginning here. I know everybody is not. Um, I know a lot of people that watch me may also be celibate. Okay, you have some people that cannot have children by nature, or some that is on some type of medication or something like that to prevent them from having a child or children. Um, but it is here though. Somebody will be becoming a mother. Somebody also did become a mother, but they said no to it, if you know what I mean. So this Seven of Wands for me could be that male person um, who is now deciding to end this marriage and or relationship. Okay, because this also can be something that happened. See, King of Wands, something that also happened to a Queen of Cups, who also can be a wife or somebody who was always already a mother. Okay, so somebody like a side chick or somebody that you were in a relationship with, and then you had a lover on the side and that lover got pregnant, but they decided not to keep it. um a lot of you, after you have an awakening, it may not sit very well with you anymore. Okay, and you may actually decide to cut that relationship off. Because somebody here actually wanted to be a father here. See there, Queen of Wands in reverse. I told you it was a side chick around here somewhere. I felt her energy. Of course, this is not for everybody. And she knocked over my cards, little hussy. And I do say a side chick or somebody on the side, somebody that you maybe met dating. Because the King of Wands is here too, so masculines. It could be you met a girl, um, or another masculine, whatever you like. It ain't my business, you know. And they already had somebody, okay. But somebody here was not being faithful. So I don't know if it was the female or the male, or the male turned around and did something to their partner that they were in an argument and fight and breaking up with, and they tried to get or did have intimate affair with somebody else, as wanting justice, because the King of Wands now is looking at the Queen of Cups. He is no longer looking at the Queen of Wands. Now, like I said, the Queen of Wands for me is Leo energy. Other readers may say differ, but the Queen of Wands is Leo energy for me. The King of Wands is more of Sag and Aries energy for me, not really Leo. So, but it also can be vice versa. With the Queen of Wands here is no longer attracted to this King of Wands, because the King of Wands could want to keep their options open. They are very fertile. They are very much about or in their energy right now, feeling very much climax or in their power, especially because the sun is in Aries, like I said. Um, but sooner or later, this King of Wands, though, will be looking for divine or getting divine guidance for a new beginning. So, this King of Wands also could be slowing their roll, okay, and start to remember things, or things are happening to them right now. Let's go ahead and quickly clarify because I already been on here crying and taking too long, taking up the reading. It just get overwhelming sometimes. This is why sometimes y'all don't get a reading, because after I get off, I'm exhausted. See there, consciousness. Like I'm saying, somebody consciousness is changing. Okay, somebody wants the fertility, the abundance, the prosperity, which is family, that love, that nurturing, that caring, that closeness. Okay. A King of Wands here also is wanting or is or can or will be multiplying their um, prosperity. So if you are the King of Wands, or if you know somebody that you're dating, or whatever the case may be, maybe a husband, a brother, somebody here, um, their earnings are about to increase and multiply. Okay. Now we keep getting this experience card in reverse. And look there. Told you success. hmm Whether this is a successful love relationship and or business, King of Wands is about the desire. Getting up, going after it. This is what I want. This is what I'm going to get. Using creativity, being flexible, being spontaneous, spontaneous in nature. Always taking action, having that energy to take action. Um, because just like it says, divine masculine, this King of Wands is very masculine oriented. Okay, and this person radiates or will radiate even more King of Wands energy. But King of Wands energy is also a bachelor or somebody that is single at the time or at this moment. They're saying no to marriage or no to somebody that they were supposed to marry. But on the flip side of that, this King of Wands has is admiring this a Queen of Cups here. But they're not letting their consciousness uh tell them how to or to invoke that consciousness in as divine guidance. They're trying to see it not as a necessity to have a Queen of Cups energy in their life because they want to stay a King of Wands energy. Okay. Now, crisis, fate, duty, conviction, justice is in reverse. So the King of Wands right now through consciousness is seeking um, necessity. Okay. And I feel that they're about or will enter their magical power at some point. It can be, like I said, most likely when Jupiter moves. That will be May the 17th. Okay. When Jupiter moves into, see there, the source. hmm We are all one consciousness, all from one source, right? hmm What I tell you about flexibility and bending, the tree will not bend, it'll break, okay, but it won't bend. The only thing that will bend is this bamboo. It will stay very flexible enough during a storm, tsunami. Well, I don't know about no tsunami, but a rainstorm, tropical storm, whatever the case, when koala bears and stuff like that and animals jump on it, right? It'll bend and sway and bend and sway. That's being flexible. But the tree won't do that. It got roots all the way down into the ground and it has to break if it bends too far. Okay, it'll have to snap. Comparison. So, this King of Wands is comparing two lovers here. He find one that was supposed to be the mother of their child and or to marry, and then the King of Wands also had, see their change in reverse, also had interference, a desire with a Queen of Wands, but may no longer be desiring this Queen of Wands. Or it's the Queen of Wands that also can be turning down a King of Wands. Because the Queen of Wands is the only one, actually, see their judgment in reverse. The Queen of Wands is the only one, and also the Queen of Swords, that will be able to cut a King of Wands down, okay, and turn that energy down. A Queen of Swords and a Queen of Wands. Because if the Queen of Wands does not desire a King of Wands, it will not happen anyway. You understand? Even though he's the king, the Queen of Wands has to have that desire to be with the King of Wands. Because it's two fires. It's two fires. So if the Queen of Wands don't want the king anyway, it's not gonna work. It wasn't gonna last. But a Queen of Cups will always continue to have that conditional love, okay, as a way of being used and charmed. We kept seeing that card the past couple of nights, right? If you didn't see it, go back and watch it. Now I understand what it was talking about. The King of Wands is using his charm, his or her charm, okay, and also can be a form of narcissism, um, using, controlling, desiring, also using fertility, using this person actually for procreation, the making of a child. But with a King of Wands, with the King of Wands, stay. You see what I'm saying? Because the Queen of Cups would need the King of Pentacles, a Emperor, or the King of Cups to stay. The King of Wands will not stay. Mm. Not for long, because the King of Wands will keep going after what it desires, because it's flexible. It will keep being flexible in and out. It will have a certain length of desire for a while, and then it will desire something else because it has to keep adapting and changing to its environment. Okay. hmm All right. Let me clarify this a little bit more, and I'm gonna let y'all go. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, but I do see success coming in. So if you are a business owner, entrepreneurial, you're applying for a next position at your job, a shift lead, a manager, a CEO. Um, if you're applying for a better paying job, a higher wages, something like that. Especially if you are a Aries, Virgo, or Scorpio. Okay. See there? What I say? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No call, not hearing from them. Could have been after a one night stand. Okay. Not gambling, not taking a chance. This seems like this is the Queen of Wands saying that she do not want to take a chance on this because of the lies and the keeping secrets. I already gave y'all the whole story. Okay. It may or may not be you or resonating with you right now. But somebody here may also have somebody pregnant here. Twin flame, not a divine connection. Not if it's just about fertility and intimacy. And somebody that was supposed to be breaking up has not ended. There has not been a change. Um, this person is still comparing you to this queen of person, a fated meeting, important connection, and heartbreak and shattered. So something here is about to end, the crow, and something new is about to start. And this no peace, because somebody is realizing that they don't want to take a gamble, either losing their wife, somebody that they're living with, and or spouse, by sleeping around or taking a chance on spirituality and getting into a relationship, and they're scared. Okay, because this is or could be divine guidance, and this person is not used to divine guidance. They're used to bam, bam, thank you, ma'am. And then now we go together. And oops, if you got pregnant, then okay, now I'm your baby daddy. Pretty much. And if we are married, yeah, I had a side chick, one or two of them. One of them got pregnant, and I told them they couldn't keep it. So before my spouse, Queen of Cups, found out, the other person said no to the child. Okay. And because of that, this King of Wands now has their back to the Queen of Wands. Trying to put time and energy into a marriage. See their intimacy as soon as I said it. Bonding. Trying to rebond with a spouse, or somebody that they were living with or been together for probably over a year or two. Competition, the other woman. I can't make this up. Bottom of the deck, between the lines, you got to look for what's hidden, right? Mystery. Remembering what they told you, remembering what y'all talked about. This person is acting like a mystery, or there's some big mystery about them, about what they're not telling you, about why they're probably not calling you as much anymore. It's because um, they don't went and been intimate with the previous person that they were dealing with. hmm You've been very observant anyway, but you just haven't made a judgment call. But now, for some of you, you're about to, because you're about to have a new fated meeting. Okay. Don't let this shatter your head, your heart, your feelings, and emotions. Because it was no comparison to you anyway. I hate to say that. Don't want to talk about any masculine or any other divine feminines. But you are a royal peacock, and this other person was not. So this is why whoever this King of Wands is still um they're still trying to keep you in their web of lies for intimate actions. Okay, to keep you around. But you got to read between the lines, though. You don't have to wait for somebody to tell you anything. You're very intuitive, and you can read and you can see. Okay? You don't have to hear words or teach all this all the time. Yes? We're finna end this. I'm finna throw out this oracle. I'm gonna tell you the truth. This is not what I expected for the crow card. Um, but I was supposed to. Is that the gambling dice again? It is. You see that? You see what I'm saying? Somebody is taking some huge risk. Somebody also is going to get pregnated. And this also could be your second and or third child. Uh, change. The change card right here is in reverse. But we're talking about Jupiter, though. Also, the 8th house of Scorpio, which is change. Somebody has a rising, ascendant, and or moon as a Scorpio, the crow card here. You got fortune and focus. You can't get no better than that. The arrow is pointing towards your focus and your fortune. That's what you need to concentrate on, because that is what is about to change for you. It is going to be multiple blessings. Change for some of you, it will be a child or children, also can be grandchildren. Um, but it's a new change, a new start, a new beginning. Multiple businesses, multiple sources of income, um, money back in your investments and or stocks. It's going to be a sudden increase. Also can be a sudden increase of admirers where you may have all been dealing with this situation, and then all of a sudden you start meeting people back to back to back, and you like, whoa, where all these people come from? Yeah. Because they see you as these little bunnies here. And because they see you, divine feminines, as these little bunnies, that makes them even more fertile. And it also makes them want to, this word here, and procreate. Now, if you can't, you can't. I understand that. But it also is another reference to the lover's card. Okay, not saying you have to, but you have to date, get to know somebody, make a bond. Okay, that creates intimacy, and sometimes intimacy leads to the three-letter word. But that's not for everybody. Okay, all right. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and listening and learning. At the bottom of the deck is the world card because we didn't check. At the bottom of the deck is sorrow because this person is going back to their ex, and then they're going to see you move on and get into a new relationship, and you will have a date coming up because this person is not no longer calling you, or you no longer going out on a date with them. Okay? All right. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.